and welcome to Light for Life. If you are returning to our channel, thank you. We value and appreciate you. Our aim is to shine a bright light on your inner splendor and assist to connect you to your magnificence via what we intend to be enlightened sharing, potentially educational and hopefully entertaining information, as well as encouragement for new perspectives. If you are new here, you are most welcome. We do hope that you will find our content highly beneficial and enjoyable. I am Liz. I'm a science of mind practitioner and a teacher of various healing modalities applicable to all aspects of the self and this life.
And I am Lori. I am a holistic wellness researcher and educator. Welcome to Connections with Liss and Lori. We use this space to offer our perspective regarding multiple different topics that we certainly hope you find inspiring. Today we are talking about dreams. Dreams. I won't sing for you. Dreams might seem completely nonsensical and ridiculous. And what in the world was that? How many? I can't be the only one who wakes up some days thinking, what was that? And then there's other times when I wake up thinking, oh my, I need a pen and paper. This is strong. And then there's other times when I really see how my subconscious was just working through something that I just couldn't or wouldn't work through while I was awake. So I think dreams could be a really interesting conversation. I'm curious to see where this one goes, because I can only speak from my perspective, right? I've had some earth-shaking dreams. In some of my dreams, I've had experiences with the other side and rattled my cage pretty significantly. In fact, there was a time when I completely shut off my intuition because of what my dreams were showing me. And it was just a little too much for me. And again, I think there's other people who might be watching this can probably really relate to the power of dreams and how that power can just be a little too much at times. But as I've grown older, I've also had those dreams where they've been such a beautiful message that I'm so profoundly grateful to have them. And they've helped me in my life, in my waking life. And sometimes they've been the nudge that I needed in a certain direction that I wasn't so sure about. Do I do this? Do I not do this? Is it time? And the dream can be that really empowering affirmation. So I'm curious, Liz, have you had prophetic dreams? Have you had crazy dreams, those lucid dreams that leave you going, what was that?
Lori, the only kind of dreams I have are prophetic dreams. Hand on my heart. I am not a dreamer. I'm a weird one. I don't dream.
Okay.
But when I do, it's crystal clear. It's really powerful. I wake up remembering it all, and I know it's going to happen, and it always does.
Yeah.
It always does. I don't have frivolous dreams. I don't have nonsensical dreams. When I was a little girl, I had a lot of nightmares. A lot of nightmares. And believe it or not, that's a grace. That is a grace, because that is exactly what you said it was. In a way, it is the subconscious processing through negative experiences, particularly negative emotions. That's why dreams can be so symbolic.
Yeah.
But it is also divine grace helping us to process in sleep instead of in waking life when it's actually come into manifestation. So if, for example, we are holding a lot of fear about a particular thing, And then we have a very fearful dream in which that particular thing happens, and we process and release all of that fear. Now that thing doesn't actually have to happen in our real lives. So nightmares, like everything else, are love, and they're grace. They're love and grace. Prophetic dreams, I do believe, is when we are connecting to a more expanded version of ourselves that has access to more information than we do. And we are blessed enough to receive that information. And sometimes it can be very confusing. And why? And why am I being shown this and told this?
Right.
But once it becomes clear, there's always an incredible purpose to it. And I am actually very personally intuitive about dream interpretation. It's something that people who know me in real life know about me. So very often I will wake up in the morning and I'll open my text conversations and it's, hey Liz, this is what I dreamt last night. And then I get the whole dream explained to me in a text conversation. And then I have to in turn tell them what the dream is trying to say. So that is something that I do in like my other part-time life, is dream interpretation.
I didn't know that.
But I am so, yeah, I am so good with that, primarily, I think, with people that I know.
Yeah.
Because in the symbology of dreams, you really can't make a book. People have tried, but you really can't make a book where you say, okay, if you dream about a green apple, it means
Yeah.
X. And if you dream about a wheelbarrow, it means Y. And the reason why you can't say that is because an apple doesn't mean to you what it means to me.
Right.
And a wheelbarrow doesn't mean to you what it means to me.
Right.
So you dreaming of it and me dreaming of it are going to be two completely different dreams with two completely different messages. Some things are universal. Some things are absolutely universal in dream symbology, and that's because they're archetypal. So anytime there's an archetypal symbol in a dream, then it's going to mean the same thing for everyone. But as soon as you move past archetypal symbology, then it becomes deeply, deeply personal.
Yeah.
But one thing that I can perhaps give as a hint and a clue that might help people who want to potentially interpret more of their dreams is to look at absolutely everything and everyone in your dream as you. We are only ever dreaming of the self. So, for example, if I have a dream in which I'm fighting with my husband, the contents of the fight, what it was about, as well as what my husband means and symbolizes to me, is a dream about where an internal conflict within me is taking place.
Okay.
So I'm not dreaming about a fight with my husband because I'm angry with my husband. If I'm fighting with my husband in my dream because, let's say, it's always 5 minutes late for something, and it's a habit and it's annoying me and I'm fighting with him about it in my dream. And in my dream, he's trying to tell me that he plans as best he can. He doesn't intend to be late. And it's not that he's trying not to be caring, to be uncaring, but he just always ends up being 5 minutes late. And it is something he's working on, but so far nothing's really changed. If that dream is not about my husband and it's not about my annoyance that he's being 5 minutes late, then what is it actually about? What is my internal conflict? Part of my husband's character, personally speaking now, is that he is incredibly reliable. He's a very hard worker and he's completely dependable. So if in my dream I'm fighting with him about being late, which is completely uncharacteristic, then there is something in myself that, first of all, I'm refusing to look at, and secondly, that I am procrastinating about. And it is causing me to self-sabotage myself in my actual waking life. And that is what the dream is coming to try to show me. It's not about 5 minutes late. It's not about annoyance, and it's certainly not about my husband. It's about the fact that I have procrastination issues that I have to heal so I can stop sabotaging something for myself in.
Fascinating. I'm going to have to spend some time with this one. So
Lori's going to go back, guys, and analyze 50 years worth of dreams.
Well, some of them, obviously some of them are so crystal clear that there's nothing to analyze. You're just, thank you. Thank you. That was amazing. Thank you. But using your husband analogy, recently I did have a dream where in my dream, I was able to say all of the things that I didn't say when I was awake and would probably never say to somebody that I loved anyway. So I was looking at it as a way of me releasing some frustration and some anger that I didn't want to take out on a loved one. So maybe I've got it all wrong and I should look at myself in that dream yelling at myself. That's why I was like, I probably should spend some time on this.
Yeah. Well, Lori, like most things, it can be both.
Yeah.
It can be both. It can be the subconscious processing through what wasn't expressed and allowing it to be expressed in the safe zone of a dream,
Exactly.
instead of, like you say, inflicting harm on someone that you love. So it can be that as well. But definitely, yes, to me, that dream is literally about you finding your voice.
Mm-hmm.
And you finally accepting that you're allowed to express that.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially given the timing, I do feel that's what was taking place is, we're in our generation, we're raised to be good girls and behave ourselves and all of the social conditioning. And I bought it hook, line, and sinker. So I don't say mean things and I don't intentionally hurt people because I'm supposed to be a good girl. And in the process of that, you dishonor who you are. And I think that's where, for me, sometimes in my dreams, I do get to honor that. That did kind of make me mad. But I don't have to engage another person in my frustration or in my anger and take it out on someone that I love dearly. I can still process through whatever it is that I'm feeling. And like you said, it's my safe little bubble where I get to do that. And I do get to heal that in a way with that other person without them ever even knowing that I'm
I would add that a crucial next step the next morning is to actually find that same truth that was expressed and put it in the voice that loves that individual as much as you do, and actually find a way to express it to them, if that's going to be healing and it's going to be beneficial.
Yeah.
Not just for them, but for you, for the relationship.
Yeah.
Because we're not doing anyone who loves us a favor by keeping them out of the loop about what our needs actually are.
Yes.
We're not doing anyone who loves us a favor by not honestly expressing what it is that makes us angry and what it is that we desire. So yes, very often dreams come to show us what we need to real world actually do.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And going back, not so much a prophetic dream, but those dreams that have some strong messages, even though they look like there's characters being played out, you do wake up with a very strong message that, okay, it's time to take action on this, or yes, this is the right path for me and this was really validating, or whatever the situation may be. Excuse me. Yes, I do need to leave this job. Yes, I do need to leave this relationship. They in my opinion, dreams can be incredibly helpful in possibly making decisions. Is this the healthy direction for me to go in, or do I need to remove myself from this situation? And sometimes I wake up laughing because it's so crystal clear that, yep, I was right, or yep, time to go on that, or oh my gosh, what a great idea, I need to write that down. I can remember when my son was little, I feel as though I was given a whole series of children's books, and I woke up thinking, how fun is this? And I never wrote it down. I know. Yeah. Lesson learned. Keep a notepad and a pen by your bedside.
Lori, it's not related to dreams at all, but on a personal note, I relate to that so much and the sadness linked to that, because when my children were little, I used to just off the cuff make up their bedtime stories.
Yeah.
I'd sit on the edge of their bed and I would just tell them stories that they absolutely loved. And honestly, every one of those stories, and there must have been 400 of them, could have been the most beautiful children's book because I was just a natural about it. And it always had a moral lesson and the cutest characters and little voices. And my hubby always used to stand in the doorway and listen to me tell the children their bedtime story. And he would say to me every night, Liz, you should write these down. You should write these down. And I just never did. I was a working mom of four. I was
Yeah.
tired. So
Yeah.
I just never did. And I told myself I'd remember them. I'm going to forget my stories. I made them up. They're my stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are so gone, lost forever. So on one hand, I have to make my peace. You know, my children got those treasures from me and they were meant for them.
Yeah.
But I do understand the sadness of where did that go? Why didn't I hang on to that? You know?
I
But it
think
is still somewhere out there in the quantum. So I believe if you're meant to reconnect, then you will.
I agree. I
Perhaps you can
agree.
dream that dream.
Absolutely. You know, like you said, if it's meant to come back in, it isn't lost. And if it just never comes
Mm,
back in, it was really only meant for that brief moment of time. And be grateful for that
mm,
moment of time and
mm.
wait for the next one to appear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know
So
how
what I
much time we
perhaps
have.
like to do,
What was that?
sorry, my honey, I'm talking over you. I wanted to say that what I perhaps like to do is just give people a few examples
Yeah.
of what some of the most archetypal symbols in dreams are, the ones that are more universal, like across the board.
Yeah.
So please ask me questions if you feel like I'm not dealing with certain specific things. So first of all, I must mention water.
Yes.
Any dream about water, whether it's the ocean or another body of water or a flood or lots of rain or drowning, anything like that, water is always, always about an emotional stage of being. Emotions that are not being processed, not being acknowledged, not being dealt with, and they're becoming overwhelming. So water is always emotions. Anytime that you are inside of an unknown building, and you're moving from one space in that building to another space in that building, means that you are changing your perspective. It means that you are moving. Buildings are always the mind.
Mm.
So office blocks and unfamiliar territory and things like that is always a new perspective and expansion of the mind. A house is always your body. Anytime you're dreaming of a house, certain rooms will link to certain organs in the body and certain things that are happening in the body. So a house is always the body. Um, Fire always has to do with a suppressed, really, really important desire. People are often afraid and class as nightmares, um, dreams about fires burning houses down.
Yeah.
And that's not what the dream is trying to say. If you understand that the house is your body, your heart is trying to communicate that an incredible passion is burning inside of you. And you need to see it and acknowledge it and start fleshing it out. Mountains, whether they are being climbed or hiked or they're exploding as a volcano, a mountain is always a very powerful and strong experience that is about to come into your life. Something massive is arriving,
Right.
is what a mountain is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And off the top of my head, I can't think of any other universal symbols. So if you want to hit me with some questions, go.
Well, I don't know if they would be archetype, but one of the things that I have read a lot about, because this is true for me, is dreaming of spiders. And I've read that that can have a lot to do with creativity. Do you notice that as well?
I wouldn't use the word creativity, I would say connection.
Connection. Okay. How are
Yes.
spiders connection?
Um, if
The other
if you
one,
think
go ahead.
if you think of the web
Oh,
and that the beautiful web that they create, and very often spiders come. And so like if you dream about a spider at a funeral, for example, it's coming to show you that you still have a connection to the deceased loved
okay.
one. Yeah. If you
I
dream
always
about
dream of
spiders
spiders
that
on my bed or on my face or in my room. Like what is the spider in my personal space showing me?
disconnection from.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Well, isn't that the truth? We always need to connect with self more, don't we?
and spiders in dusty corners with dirty webs. There is a connection that we're neglecting, an important connection that's not getting our attention. There's some stuff we need to clean up in a relationship. So yeah, spiders for me are connection.
Connection. Beautiful. I would have never, and it's so obvious, like you said, it's the web. Web connects. It literally attracts, right? And locks in. Very interesting. What about teeth?
And particularly if the spider is red in the dream. Black spiders, ironically, are really, really good omens. They're about beautiful connections. But a red spider in a dream is literally speaking to a toxic connection.
Oh,
it's speaking to something that's poisonous and bad, a connection to someone or something that is not serving you. It's about a connection that needs to be severed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about teeth?
Teeth are two things, symbolically speaking. Teeth are decisions. So you are mulling over something, you're chewing over something, and it's bothering your subconscious, and you haven't made that choice. So teeth are decisions. But teeth are also a very animalistic expression of our lower nature. Because if you think of the animal and its claws and its bite, if it's somehow being knocked out or damaged, or perhaps you are biting someone, it can be an indication that you're too much in the lower nature, that the higher brain faculties of reasoning and rationality and our ability to be our better selves and not come from that instinctual nature is being neglected. Too much instinct is playing out and intellect has been pushed to the side. So perhaps you're really coming from fear.
So if
instead
teeth
of
are
coming from what
out,
you know the rational decision is.
If you see your teeth falling out,
that I would say that's a fear of wrong decisions.
Okay. Interesting. So I don't know how much time we have left. I think water is a really
big another minute or so.
Okay. And I know water is a really big one, and I was thinking of something when you said that, but of course now I can't recall it. Is there anything else in nature that you can think of? We've got water, mountains. What about like if are trees symbolic of anything?
It can be, but they're more personal than universal. So you would have to understand the person's what does a tree mean to you?
Oh, so some of the other common ones that a lot of people will talk about is falling from a building or falling or running in their dreams, or are those a little more universal, or are those still pretty personal?
Yeah, definitely. Falling is always a dream about the next step in your life. One that you are usually reluctant or afraid to take. And that's why you usually don't die in your dream. You wake up before you hit the ground because it's playing out that fear of actually stepping up. That's why it's a fear of heights. Stepping up to the next phase of my life. I will fall. I can't do it. I will fail. It's the expression of that energy being held.
And would running be similar?
Yeah, very often you're running from nothing, right? Nothing's chasing you. You're just on the run. You don't know why. And sometimes you're naked while you're doing it. Those things are just our universal fears of vulnerability, of being exposed, of needing to get away from a situation or a person or something that we feel somehow entrapped by. Or that something, the big bear that's invisible, is chasing us.
Yeah.
So yeah, those tend to be universal themes.
Yeah, that monster under the bed.
Another one that I can maybe not to frighten people, but another one that I can maybe share is salt. To dream about salt in a dream is somehow linked to death. And it doesn't have to be the death of a person or an animal. It can be the death of a situation, the end of things. to dream about salt in any way is
An
because
ending
salt
of a
is
job, an
crystallized life energy.
ending, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Interesting.
cleansing, it's a purifying, it's a release, but it is also the change in the form of some kind of a death of something. So it can symbolize the opening of a new chapter, if you look at it from that regard. But yes, that's very much death. So people don't need to worry about death when they dream about death, because death in a dream is not death. Salt is death. Death in a dream is actually wonderful. It means your rebirth, your regeneration, your metamorphosis like a butterfly, how you have transformed. That's what death is.
All very interesting. We could probably talk for another hour about dreams.
Well, I hope the audience has enjoyed it.
I do too. Thank you for connecting with Light for Life. If you appreciate reminders, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can receive those notifications. If you would like to work with one of us, you can find our contact information in the About section of this channel.
Yes, thank you for connecting with Light for Life. Please share your insights, your questions, and your comments with us in the comment section below. We value your feedback. And we really hope that we will see you for our next episode. We upload one every Thursday. Until then, bye-bye and be joyful.
Until we connect again, we send you love and light.